Hello and welcome to my vintage Schumacher RC video. This is a continuation of the Project 1990 Cougar restoration build. At this stage we are fitting steering servo, which is kind of handy. You do want a steering servo. This is an ACOM servo, part of my ACOM's Techni Plus set. They do actually come with two servos, you know. They do actually come with two. So I'm using this electronic speed controller, so spare servo. Anyway, forget that. I'm using a Tamiya. Oh, these are the original steering rods. They are quite long, so we don't have that much space between the battery bracket and the servo and the radius arms. So I ended up cutting some. So I don't like doing that, so I hunted these out because I knew I had some cut down. I'm not cutting anymore. That's sacrilegious, cutting parts. Don't cut parts. Anyway, these are already in position, ready to stick this pesky servo down with double-sided tape. Oh no, Dean's connector meets Tamiya connector. I already realized I had an issue, so I've got this converting cable. I do like the Dean connectors. They are solid. You know, in the past you get your Tamiya plug gets hot and then your pins go all wonky and you lose connection. Deans are good. They get hot but they don't melt. Anyway, Techni Plus ACOMs. Chrome, look at that chrome bezel. A transmitter, beautiful, very nice. Looks good actually, it does look good. So the plan here, you've got to remember that this chassis does not have holes for a servo because the chassis is a top cat chassis. So the holes are made for positioning a Top Cat servo on a Top Cat chassis. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, in the manual, it says stick this servo down with double-sided tape. I have come across a lot of models which I've purchased in the past. People have drilled the chassis to mount the servo. It's very sad really, because it's not necessary, you don't have to. You get some nice double-sided tape and this servo doesn't move at all. There's a little bit of movement, but there's nothing wrong with that. Helps with the servo horn and steering movement. Anyway, let's not get boring. So radio gear works nicely, does work nicely. I've already adjusted the steering arms and turnbuckles. They are more or less set where they need to be. So I'm concentrating just on the servo. You don't want to try and do both at the same time. It's impossible. So get one done first, then do the other. Anyway, let's get some double-sided tape on here. I mean, it's not rocket science. There's not much difference, or there's not much positioning. I should say, not much positioning. All you got to do is make sure that the servo horn doesn't hit the battery bracket. That's all you got to make sure. So what I normally do, because the double-sided tape I'm using isn't that thick, so I double layer it. So it gives you a little bit of movement in the servo when it's on, but it's solid. It won't come out, but gives you that little bit of rocking motion where it kind of helps maintain your servo, because you don't get fancy adjustments on your old Techni Plus radio set. You know, you get a trim and that's it. That's all you get, a bit of a trim. Normally what you try and do, you use because the steering rod is in two pieces, it helps you a lot to set your servo up, because you can burn them out. Not like nowadays. Nowadays, servos and radio gear are awesome. Back in the Stone Age, when all you had on your transmitter was a trim, it was quite difficult with maximum movement not to damage your servo. But anyway, that's ancient history. So now I've neutralised the servo. I've put power into the radio gear. I've got a rough idea where I want to be with my servo. I've put double-sided tape on said servo. You saw me cut it with my faithful scalpel. By the way, I didn't cut into the servo, if you're panicking. Saying, oh no, he's cutting the servo. No, I didn't. I didn't put too much pressure on. So I didn't cut the servo. So anyway, we're at the stage where we are going to smash this servo down. It's going to get pushed down. Okay, you can see what I mean about the servo being quite close to the battery bracket. I have got the original servo saver, which I never used. My original servo saver, I never used it. Reason being, it's huge. That thing is a monster. But does it actually save the servo when you hit stuff? I don't know. Never used it. I never ever had any servos that burnt out due to not using the servo saver. So I would say it's a good idea, but of over engineering, I think. I definitely don't use it nowadays. So anyway, I'm going to stick with my trusty Tamiya servo horn and my double-sided tape, and we're going to smash it down. I've neutralised the servo, which is very important, people. Get your trim in the middle, neutralise your servo, set your steering rods up, your turnbuckles, try and get them as centre as possible, and then that's it. We're down. We are down. I've seen too many chassis with holes in. See what I mean? Look how close that servo horn is to the battery bracket. So if you've got your cable from your battery bulging on your battery bracket because it only just fits, it's going to be tight. So this is why many battery brackets had slots cut in them, so the battery cables can be tugged out the way of the servo, because you've got a huge chassis, lots of space when you first start building, and then you put in your huge electronics. Actually, these electronics are quite small compared to what you actually know. Tell a lie, this ACOM servo is big. It's the standard servo out of the Techni Plus set, and it is big. It's a big servo. You could get fast servos back then, but they were proper big monies, man. They were big monies. Saying that, I think I spent £80 for a servo recently, so 80 quid for a servo now is expensive. But if you were paying like 40, 50 quid for a servo back then, that was a lot. I think a Techni Plus set was about 45 quid. Yeah, I'm sure it was about £45 back then for a Techni Plus set. And I think the speed controller was 50. I do remember buying the speed controller from a model shop, and it was 50 quid. So that was expensive back then. Anyway, let's not get into that. I do like to have an extension cable on my speed controller. Don't like it going over the battery area. But I thought I had one. But I haven't got one. The problem you've got is you've got through Taba going into ACOMs. But it does fit, but you can put it in either way, so you can plug it in the wrong way. You've got to be careful. But anyway, a harness is less helpful because it needs to be a through turbo one with the slot. It's got like a little groove in it, and the ACOMS one is quite a square hole for the square socket. But anyway, let's not talk rubbish because I haven't got one. We're gonna have to make one. I think I made one originally actually. I think I did actually make an extension cable originally. So we're going to abandon that for now. We're going to abandon that idea for now. We're going to press on. I was saying about the cost of the electronics back then. 50 quid for a speed controller was a lot of money, considering you could buy a whole set, like a receiver, 2 servos and a transmitter for 45. That was a lot of money. But now, what do you spend now for a speed controller? I think I've got a Hobby Wing. Is it a Hobby Wing? 1080? I think that cost me £80. So 50 back then was a lot of money for a speed controller. Talking a lot of money. But look at the quality of it. It's lasted 35 years. So proof is in the pudding, as they say. Proof is in the pudding. Pay your monies, get your quality. Not always the case nowadays. It was the case back then. But anyway, I think I'm going to look for a screw for this servo. I've not put one in yet. So let's get this servo horn screwed down and then we can move on. So let's recap what we've done. We've mounted the servo with double-sided tape because that's how you did it on a Cougar. Didn't have any pre-drilled holes like you do nowadays. The original way was double-sided tape. Everything's double-sided tape. I did use Velcro at one point for receiver and thingy, as in speed controller, but I've gone back to double-sided tape, which is, it does work, a bit messy, but it does work. So anyway, so what we got left, we've got wheels and motor. Let's just get the motor connected. This is the Schumacher Gold Rush. This motor's ancient. It really is ancient. I failed to pin down a date when it came out, but it is some pretty ancient stuff, man. Like I said before, Dean connectors are the way to go. I mean, I don't know if other people use Dean connectors on your RC cars, but I do like them. I use them on my helicopter. That's where I think I first used Dean connectors on a helicopter. But anyway, they work very well for me. Here you go. So we've got servo screwed in, servo horn screwed in, servo screwed down. So it does work very fluidly. Motor does work. Look at that. Does work. The thing is, this the speed controller has got reverse, and it's not a gradual reserve. It's not a gradual reverse. It kicks in. It's like all or nothing. Bang, reverse in. So at the moment, I'm trying to figure out which way round I've got my cables, because I can hear the motor going full reverse, which isn't good. I think I might put the wheels on because it's a bit difficult to tell what you're doing without any wheels on. I'm not that good. Well, I am, but I'm not that good. The reason this battery pack isn't in the car is because it's a 4200 milliamp one. So you'll probably find back then standard was 1200. Was a 1200 milliamp battery. The yellow one I was using was 1700, so it's quite big. I think that's why it doesn't like to fit very well. These modern ones, I think, are got a 5,000 milliamp battery. That is, the cells are huge, well, they're not massive, but you know what I mean. But anyway, I digress and talk rubbish as usual. So let's get these wheels on. These are Riri wheels, okay? I do apologise. I have got some original wheels, but they're tarnished. There is a technique where you can use, what is it? I think it's peroxide bleach. You can bleach your wheels in daylight, because what happens is ultraviolet rays alter the colour of the white. They destroy the colour of the white wheels. So I've opted for some Riri wheels because they're nice and white. I was planning on bleaching some originals, but I thought, why bother? I mean, because I've dyed, I do like dyeing wheels, they're awesome. I've dyed some black ones, I do. That is so good, isn't it, dyeing wheels? These are made for dyeing. But anyway, to refurb them, you've got to you've got to bleach them with peroxide bleach, which is a bit of a job. And I'm not actually that bothered. I'm not that interested in bleaching wheels. So I've opted for Riri wheels. They are perfect, exactly the same, no difference. Took me a while to get these ribbed tyres, because the original model came with multi-spike, mini spike tyres on the back, which these tyres, I know it's a bit weird, but the Riri Cougar doesn't come with the original Cougar tyres. It comes with Top Cat tyres. I know that's quite anal, but I don't want Top Cat tyres on my, because these tyres are from the box as such. If you had a Cougar in the 90s, you would have got these tyres. So to make it look original, I did hunt these tyres down many years ago to get the cosmetic look of the car exactly right. And it works for me. But anyway, wow. Very anal talking about tyres. Oh dear, you can get into many arguments discussing original tyres, but these are 100% authentic. Because I know, you know when you've done it and you can relive it, you can exactly identify perfectly. This is why this car is 100% perfect, as in original. Well, not original parts, because they were new in bag parts, some of them. And that's it. Look at that. Marvellous. So what I'm going to do now, just for the argument's sake, in the previous video I said I didn't know if the rear shockers had oil in, but now they're fitted, I can definitely say all the shockers have got oil in. I refurbed them, blimey, a couple of decades ago, so I wasn't sure, and I wasn't going to take them apart to find out. So I can confirm we have oil in these shockers. What my plan is now, just to finish off, is to double check the electronics with my faithful fat battery. Now I've got the rear wheels on, I can double check which way forward we are going. But we have an issue. Houston, we have an issue. Looking down at the video now, I know what the issue is instantly. I kind of panicked. I thought, oh no, something's broken. I've broken something on my model. And then I realised with my checks that my transmitter has gone off. So the car is doing what it wants, it goes to show how much interference 27 megahertz suffers from, because with the transmitter not being on, you imagine that your car going all over shop, because there's no switch on this, don't forget. So as soon as you switch it on, it's going weird. So now, yay, I've noticed that the transmitter has gone off. Reason being, I do not have a cover on the back because I'm lazy, couldn't be bothered. Taught me a lesson though, didn't it? So, transmitter on 100%, battery connected 100%, steering working like a dream. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. So now, steering works. Transmitter works. Now, forwards and reverse. Have we got it right? Have we got it wrong? Have we got it right? Well, it works. Anyway, that's forwards, so that works. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, looks a bit wobbly, that does, doesn't it? But we don't care. We don't mind. It works, that's the main thing. The diff has not been set up. Okay, so we are seeing the wheel spin, but we're not, at this stage, we do not know how the diff is set. So what I'm going to have to do, we'll call it in the next video because this is getting quite long. What I'm going to do in the next video, I'm going to set the diff up. So that's going to be a standalone video. It's not going to be too long. It's just purely going to be diff setup, because it's tiny. It's not difficult setting diff up. All I always do is, I've got a very basic way of doing it. I tighten the diff all the way, and then I turn it off like 1 or 2 turns depending on track. So basic, tighten it up, 1 turn off, maybe 1.5. That's it. It's not hard. It's not hard. And I've not done that yet. So anyway, we're all in one piece. The car is in one piece. Thing of beauty, isn't it? Thing of beauty. Look at that, marvellous. Bit of cable management at the end. But I need to make a harness. I'll have to get that done. Get that speed controller cable out of the way. Set the diff up. Paint the body. I've not painted the body yet. I've got a few ideas of it's cut, it's ready. I really don't like the window masks. The window masks are not good enough for me. I might make my own window masks. The bit of masking tape at the back is to stop the shockers from scratching off the protective film on the body. So that's just there to stop the protective film coming off. And that's it. Look at that, beautiful. Nice fit, nice body. By the way, this is not an original body. This is a re body. I have my original body on my other car, so I wanted a new one on this one. There you go. Look, I've not cut my spoiler out yet. So, would you call painting a body a job, or would you call it interesting? I do like painting them. It's a bit of a. Anyway, that's it done. Look at that, marvelous. So it's not 100% finished. We've got the gear cover to go on after the diff is set. So we're going to call it a wrap on this video, and thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe if you're interested, and laters people.